continue. In 1856, a politician named Charles Sumner
56. A politician named Charles Sumner gave a speech
in Congress
calling out slave-owning
calling out slave-owning Democrats with fiery language.
Democrats with fiery language. If
slavery was a woman, she would be an ugly one.
slavery was a woman, she'd be an ugly one. And the senator
from South
Carolina would like to
boink her.
boink her. Representative Brooks, do you have a rebuttal?
Representative Brooks, do you have a rebuttal? Okay.
Oh, I have a rebuttal.
Oh, I have a rebuttal. All right.
All right. Yeah, here's a rebuttal for you.
Yeah, here's a rebuttal for you.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on. Surely this isn't allowed.
Surely this isn't allowed. I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, he was hurt.
No, I'll have to consult the rule book.
I had to consult the rule book.
I can't find
I can't find
anything about caning a
caning
political opponent. But it says here
But since I'm not allowed
I'm not allowed to wear women's underwear.
to wear a woman's underwear, censored.
Book. To wear women's underwear by storm.
The Senate floor took the nation by storm.
Southern slave owners sent Representative Brooks new cane.
Southern slave owners sent Representative Brooks new canes. Oh, yeah. He came, he saw, he conquered. A fantastic. Also, my mind deliver
Canes to replace his now broken one. And on the floors of Congress, politicians carried
weapons from revolver to blunderbuss.
weapons in self.
Ooh, wow, a rocket launcher. Cool. In self-defense, which is never a good sign.
Defense.
What kind of gun is this? Is it a rocket launcher plus a minigun plus a revolver and a laser? I never seen that gun before. It's like 3 things put together. And it also has some, horns.
Which is never a good sign. In
1852, the Supreme Court ruled by Dred Scott case.
57, the Supreme Court ruled in the Dred Scott case that all people
of
African descent, slave or
free, could not be
citizens, and therefore could not sue for their own freedom under any circumstances. Undoing years of progress with the strike of a gavel. Now, within all this bitter
debate over slavery,
there were many nuances.
There are many nuances.
North versus
South.
South. Republican versus Democrat.
Now, the Republican has the shape of an elephant, but the Democrat has the shape of a donkey.
States versus the federal government.
States versus the federal government, which was the entire U.S. itself.
But let's strip all that away. For 4 million individuals living in America.
Yeah, there's James Douglas.
This wasn't about political
intrigue or party alignment.
It was about the
basic human right to be free. Men, women, and children were stolen from their homelands.
Men and children were stolen from their homelands and brought to the American continent. Where for generations they were considered to be property. Forced to live in poverty. And work from sunrise to sunset. Plantation overseers did whatever they felt
was necessary to get most out of their slaves.
was necessary to get the most out of their slaves. Punishments
were often barbaric.
Families were
regularly
separated, and parents could often only watch as their children were auctioned off, never to be seen
again. That's how the exposed of cruelty of slavery.
Again, thousands of slaves took the treacherous risk of running away, and
abolitionists in the North
helped many escape by
the
Underground Railroad, as bounty hunters entered the North to chase them down. Leading figures within
the
abolitionist movement included many significant
free black men and women.
But it's important to note that for many of the anti-slavery white individuals in the North, opposition to slavery was often an economic issue, not a moral one. As many worried large plantations would take their lands and livelihoods away. Abraham Lincoln knew that slavery was a moral evil, and he regularly spoke out against it in powerful speeches that helped him rise through the ranks of the new Republican Party. He lamented at the hypocrisy of a great American nation meant to stand as a shining beacon of freedom, while also enslaving 4 million men, women, and children. He most famously declared in 1858 that a house divided against itself cannot stand. That one day slavery in America would end. However, even Lincoln was cautious in his opposition. He didn't want to outlaw entirely, but simply prevent its expansion. So that given enough time, he believed it would naturally die out. Thankfully, history would force his hand. In October 1859, one abolitionist decided he'd try single-handedly take down slavery by force. Who would be crazy
enough to even attempt such
a thing?
Oh, that's John Brown. And the tree that just stopped.
It's our good friend John Brown. He planned to seize arms from an armory in the town of Harper's Ferry. Free the slaves there. And continue south, inciting a major slave uprising along the way. A noble cause. A bad plan. And terrible execution. Brown's men took the armory. And some hostages. But were quickly surrounded by one Robert E. Lee and his U.S. Marines. Brown was captured, and a couple of months later, he was executed for treason. Northerners sympathized with Brown. But Southerners were like, you see this? They're coming for us. Soon, there'll be a million John Browns. A million John Browns?
Oh yeah, he was thinking of human con. That's a beer, not con. Are you serious, Dr. Hamilton?